So my session was about collaborative discovery and transdisciplinary creative processes. So how do groups from very different disciplines get to work together and have deep conversations about the changes that they'd like to make in the world? So we started off with an icebreaker. Now, I feel that icebreakers should serve more purposes than just to break the ice and just to get people to know each other. So the icebreaker we invented a few days earlier was all around the idea of taking out your phone, flipping back 15 images and finding an image that spoke to you. Of course, if it was too personal, you didn't have to share it. And then finding a partner and them doing the same, and then understanding what the connections were, what the abstract connections were between those two images. So it was a two-stage process. After the icebreaker, we introduced the participants to some basic ideas around how to collaborate in groups. So the first step was to get participants to put an area of passion on a post-it note and put it up on the wall. Essentially, participants then have to cluster their passions together silently without any intervention. So this is an organic or what we call an emergent process. And then they just find these natural groups between 6 to 8, there were some larger groups, of common interests. The next step was what I call a bracketology exercise, which is something invented for BCII. And essentially we put all of the topics on the left-hand side of a big piece of paper, and then we summarize 2 or 3 at a time what the abstract idea was from those 2 passions or 3 passions that participants had elected. And then that reduces until we have one overarching umbrella idea that everybody can fit under and speak to with their passions. The next step was to articulate questions, a process we call catalytic questioning, around that one topic. What are the research questions that are really intriguing for people around that topic? And after that, we just indulged in really good, deep conversations across disciplines. The room was really wonderful because you got to walk around and there was no God lecturer. What was curious about my session is that it allowed people to congregate around boards that we set up on the wall where they were doing this clustering exercise. I think that looked a little bit chaotic retrospectively, and I would have broken them into smaller groups and spread them around the room if I'd have known that you could, for example, put the post-it notes on these walls here. So it went to the core of education for me, because so much of our educational system is set up for competition. And what we do in our degree is try and detox that when students come in from HSC and turn them into collaborators. Having a space to do that in is absolutely awesome. You actually have this sense of connectedness, which is really important for me as a teacher, to feel connected to the people and equal to the people I'm teaching. And what's really important for me too is the sense that I'm learning. These spaces allow us to feel as if we're learning, as if learning is something that emerges from equal partnerships, which is something that we're really interested in, promoting this idea of students as partners. A space that enables that is just perfect.